Imagine being part of one of the biggest music groups in the world. You've worked hard for over a decade, carrying your company's name onto the World Cup stage, onto the Billboard charts, to every corner of the globe. But for some reason, every time official promotional material is released by your own company, your name disappears. Your face gets cropped out of the photo. Your screen time always seems to come up shortest at concerts. This isn't fiction. This is what thousands of fans believe has been happening to Park Jimin, member of BTS, at the hands of his own agency, Hybe. Over the past several months of 2026, a recurring pattern has left BTS fans around the world furious. From an incident where a photo coincidentally cropped Jimin out of official material, to a shocking admission from Jimin himself about pressure he received regarding his appearance. But what makes this story truly different isn't just what Hybe allegedly did. It's how Jimin responded. And that response, according to many, changed everything. If you're curious about what really happened, sit tight and pay close attention. Because this video is going to break down the full timeline, from the beginning to the turning point that united armies worldwide in one voice. Before we go further, let's remind ourselves who Park Jimin is. He's one of the 7 members of BTS, the South Korean group that reshaped the global music industry. Jimin is known as the group's lead dancer, one of the vocalists with the most distinctive tone in the group, and also someone who has built an extraordinarily successful solo career. His solo track, Like Crazy, holds the record as the longest charting song on the Billboard Artist 100, staying on the chart for a total of 34 consecutive weeks. Another track, Who, was once the 3rd longest charting song on the Billboard Hot 100, staying on the chart for 26 weeks, and even re-entered the top 30 nearly 2 months after its release. These aren't small achievements. These are the kinds of records that any record label in the world would typically celebrate in a big way. But this is where the problem starts, according to many fans. Because these achievements, they say, haven't received celebration proportional to their scale from Hybe, the agency overseeing BTS. Compare this to how other artists' achievements under the same label are heavily promoted, and you start to understand why suspicion has grown among fans. This phenomenon even has its own name on social media, the hashtag #RESPCMJin, or Hybe Respect Jimin. This isn't a new hashtag. It has resurfaced repeatedly over the past several years, every time an incident occurs that's seen as systematically disadvantaging Jimin. But in 2026, this hashtag exploded again, and this time with far greater intensity than before. Let's start from the point that triggered this latest wave of anger. On July 19, 2026, BTS performed in New Jersey, USA, in one of the biggest moments in the group's history, headlining the halftime show at the FIFA World Cup final. This was a world-class stage. BTS performed Dynamite, sharing the spotlight with an elite lineup of artists including Madonna, Justin Bieber, and Shakira. This moment should have been a huge source of pride, not just for the group, but for every individual member who performed there, including Jimin. But a few days later, on July 23, 2026, fans began noticing something odd. Weverse magazine, the official platform owned by Hybe that covers news about its artists, published an article about BTS World Cup performance. But the main photo used to illustrate that article showed only 6 members of BTS. The one face missing from that photo was Jimin's. To some, this might sound like a small mistake. But for fans who had already been tracking similar patterns for a long time, this felt like the last straw. Screenshots of the article spread quickly across X. The hashtag #RESPCJimin surged again, with thousands of fans from various countries, including Indonesia, Mexico, and Portugal, speaking out. One of the most widely repeated arguments among fans was that there were plenty of official documentation photos from that performance showing all 7 BTS members together. So, in their view, choosing specifically the one photo that excluded a single member couldn't have been a random coincidence, but rather something deliberate. Some fans even called it a consistent pattern of behavior directed at the same person over and over again. Fortunately, this public pressure produced results fairly quickly. On July 24, 2026, just one day after the controversy erupted, Hybe replaced the photo. The new version showed all 7 BTS members in full, although the article's title remained unchanged. But this photo swap didn't extinguish the flames of anger entirely. On the contrary, many fans felt this was just a quick patch without any official apology or clear explanation from Hybe about how such a mistake could keep happening repeatedly. Some ex-users even wrote that this was a consistently repeating pattern of behavior toward Jimin and demanded a sincere apology along with a clear explanation from the agency. Now, if you think the Weverse magazine photo incident was an isolated event, hold on. Because if we trace back further, this kind of pattern has actually happened repeatedly in various different forms. Let's rewind to May 2026. BTS was in the middle of their world tour, the Arirang World Tour, and stopped in Mexico City on May 10, 2026, at Estadio GNP Seguros. This is where another complaint emerged, this time from attendees who were physically present at the venue. Many concert-goers seated far from the main stage relied on Jumbotron screens to see the members clearly. And according to them, this is where the problem arose. Camera focus on Jimin was seen as very minimal compared to other members, especially during his solo segment in the song, Into the Sun. What made this moment even more attention-grabbing was footage from another concert, this time in Japan, showing Jungkook, one of his own bandmates, apparently trying to direct the cameraman's focus toward Jimin while he was singing. Picture that. A fellow member had to personally step in, directing the camera operator to give a fairer share of screen time to his own friend. Fans didn't stay silent. Hashtags like "Stop Sabotaging Jimin" began appearing on social media, with many accusing Hybe and the camera crew of deliberately reducing Jimin's visibility, not just during concerts, but also in promotional material for the group's documentary titled BTS: The Return. There was also another incident from earlier months, when fans grew worried over Jimin's absence from a BTS Movie Weeks promotional video posted on the group's official account. This absence sparked wild speculation that Jimin might be having issues with the group or even with the agency itself. Although there was no official report confirming any of this, and Jimin remained confirmed as an active BTS member, this brief moment of panic showed just how sensitive this issue has become for the global fanbase. Then there's an incident tied to business rankings. In late July 2026, Topstar News reported that Jimin and Jungkook were named as major contributors behind Bigot Music's placement at number 2 on the Music Company 100 list, a ranking that measures combined chart performance across platforms like Melon, Genie, Flow, Vibe, Bugs, and Spotify. But instead of feeling proud, many fans grew even more frustrated. They felt the massive financial and chart contributions from these two members weren't matched by how they were treated when it came to promotion and future solo projects. So, to sum it up, within just a few months in 2026, there were at least 4 separate incidents that fans see as part of one larger pattern. Exclusion from official photos, minimal camera coverage during concerts, absence from promotional material, and lack of recognition for financial contribution. 1 or 2 incidents could perhaps be dismissed as coincidence. But when this pattern keeps repeating, it's understandable that fans start questioning whether this is really just coincidence. It's important to note here that all of this represents perceptions and assumptions from a portion of the fanbase, based on their observations of publicly available material. Hybe itself has never issued an official statement acknowledging any intentional pattern in how Jimin has been treated. But regardless, this public perception alone has been strong enough to sustain a consistent, ongoing movement for years. Now we've arrived at the core of this video. Amid all this pressure and alleged unfair treatment, there's one moment that many consider a turning point. Not about what Hybe did, but about how Jimin himself responded to all of it. This moment happened on April 29, 2026, after the final show of the Arirang World Tour in Tampa. Jimin, along with jhope and Suga, with V appearing as a guest, held a live broadcast on Weverse. During this broadcast, they discussed Jimin's hairstyle, which had been a hot topic among fans throughout the tour. Long blonde hair, a bold look quite different from Jimin's previous styles. And this is where Jimin revealed something that surprised a lot of people. He shared that several people, including those at work, had suggested he cut his hair. But Jimin decided to keep the style because he wanted to try something different for once. He even openly admitted that the only person who truly supported his decision was his own mother. Picture the situation. A global artist with massive influence, facing pressure from within his own work environment over something as simple as a hairstyle. Something that should be a basic personal right and a fundamental form of self-expression. But instead of giving in to that pressure, Jimin chose to stand firm in his own decision. For many fans, this moment wasn't just a story about hair. It became a symbol of something much bigger. It was concrete proof, straight from Jimin's own mouth, of internal pressure that the public could previously only speculate about. And even more importantly, it showed Jimin's character, choosing to remain authentic and trust in himself, rather than bow to expectations imposed on him. Public reaction to this admission was massive. Many netizens were shocked to learn there had been internal suggestions for Jimin to cut his hair and sharply criticized his agency over it. Others voiced strong support for Jimin's decision to keep his own style despite the pressure. This is what's meant by the response that changed everything. It doesn't mean Jimin staged an open confrontation or made a dramatic statement attacking his agency. Quite the opposite. His response was far more subtle, but far more powerful. He simply stayed true to himself. He kept performing with the style he chose. He kept delivering his best performances on stage. He kept smiling, stayed professional, and let his work speak for itself. And it's precisely from this calm demeanor that the wave of fan support grew even stronger. Because fans saw a clear contrast between how Jimin continued to show dedication and professionalism, and how he appeared to be treated by the system around him. This contrast is what made the hashtag #RESPSTIN movement grow even more solid and consistent, not just as a momentary outburst of anger, but as a form of long-term solidarity. To fully understand this situation, we also need to look at the bigger picture of how BTS' relationship with Hybe played out throughout 2026. This year turned out to be an incredibly busy one for BTS. They released the album Erarang in March 2026, embarked on a world tour spanning North America and several other countries, and performed on a stage as massive as the FIFA World Cup. This is proof that BTS, as a group, remains at the peak of their global popularity, even after a long hiatus caused by each member's mandatory military service. Interestingly though, amid all these major achievements, a rather surprising decision emerged from the group. On July 29, 2026, all BTS members announced via Instagram stories that they had decided not to submit their work for consideration at the 2027 Grammy Awards. This decision was directly tied to the album Erarang, released back in March. Although the exact reasoning wasn't detailed in the brief announcement, this decision adds an interesting layer to the broader narrative surrounding BTS' relationship with the industry around them, including with their own agency. Some fans linked this decision to broader dissatisfaction over how the group's achievements, and the achievements of individual members within it, are strategically managed and promoted. Although this is purely speculation, with no official confirmation directly connecting this decision to the issues surrounding Jimin, the emergence of such a major decision around the same time frame certainly adds fuel to discussions among music industry observers. What's clear is that throughout 2026, the public witnessed a fairly complex picture. On one hand, BTS as a group continued to rack up achievement after achievement at the highest level of the global music industry. But on the other hand, various questions arose from their loyal fanbase about how the company overseeing them manages and treats each individual member within the group, particularly in Jimin's case. Now, you might be asking, why does this even matter? Isn't this just typical K-pop drama? Well, this is where we need to look at the bigger picture. This case actually touches on a far more universal issue within the modern entertainment industry: how individuals within a large group or team are treated by the corporate system overseeing them. This isn't just about Jimin or BTS or Hybe alone. It's about how the power of a label or company can influence, even shape, the identity and self-expression of an individual working under it. Take the hair incident, for example. It sounds simple on the surface, but when you think about it more deeply, it touches on a fundamental question about an artist's autonomy over their own body and appearance. How many personal decisions made by a global celebrity are actually their own choice? And how many have actually already been approved or even directed by the team behind the scenes? And this is what makes Jimin's response so meaningful to so many people. Amid such enormous industry pressure, he chose to keep control over one small thing that was his right, his own appearance. This is a quiet, but powerful, form of resistance. For fans, this moment serves as a reminder that behind a global star who always appears perfect on stage, there's an ordinary human being who also faces pressure, expectations, and even restrictions from their own work environment. And Jimin's calm yet firm response has only strengthened fans' respect and admiration for him. Not because he did something dramatic, but precisely because he remained true to himself amid all that pressure. So, what can we take away from all of this? Throughout 2026, we witnessed a series of incidents that, according to many fans, revealed a pattern of unfair treatment toward Jimin by his own agency, Hybe. From an official photo excluding him at a moment as huge as the World Cup stage, to minimal camera coverage during concerts, absence from promotional material, and a direct admission from Jimin himself about pressure he faced regarding his personal appearance. But through all of it, there's one consistent thread: how Jimin chose to respond to everything. Not with public outrage, not with drama, but by staying true to himself, remaining professional, continuing to give his best on stage, and holding on to the small things that were rightfully his, like his own hairstyle. It's this calm yet steadfast response that ultimately made the wave of fan support grow even stronger and more solid. Not just as a momentary outburst of anger, but as a form of long-term solidarity that continues to echo through the hashtag #RESPCMN from one incident to the next. It's important to remember that much of what's discussed in this video represents the perceptions and interpretations of a large portion of fans, based on observations of publicly available material. Hybe itself has never explicitly acknowledged any intentional pattern in these incidents. But regardless of whether these allegations are true or not, what's clear is that fans' voices have continued to be raised consistently, and that in itself has become a phenomenon worth paying attention to. And that's the full timeline of the Hybe and Jimin controversy that stirred up so much attention throughout 2026. What's your take on all of this? Do you think this is really a deliberate pattern, or just a series of genuine coincidences? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of discussion, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates from the world of K-pop. See you in the next video.